My husband, Morris, passed away in August 1971. The following April, my friend Martha invited me to take a weekend trip to Florida. The cost for airfare and hotel was $151. Who could pass that up? My daughters were delighted for me. As soon as we put our suitcases in our hotel room, Martha headed for the door.
Meet me in the lobby at 2:30.
To be sure I wouldn't miss her, I went downstairs and sat in the near entry. As men came in, they sat near me. Unbelievably, everyone asked me the same question.
Can I take you out?
I'm sorry, but I'm waiting for my friend. Each man quickly left. Then, a pleasant-looking man with straight brown hair and light brown eyes sat next to me. About 5'9", he was trim and attractive. His name was Gene, and he said he'd wait with me for Martha. We talked, and I told him about all the men asking me out.
Just so you know, the first seat in most hotels is the hooker seat.
Oh, I didn't know this seat was reserved for anyone.
No, let me explain what a hooker is.
Here I was, a 43-year-old widow learning the facts of life. Gene also explained proprietary space. A person needs a certain amount of space around her to feel comfortable. Then he explained predestiny, how people sometimes say and do something or act in new ways without being able to control themselves. Then Gene took off. Martha arrived and we decided on a swim. All of a sudden, it was summer after a very sad and difficult winter. I dove into the pool. When I came up, I realized the shorts were down to my ankles and the bra was at my neck. I didn't know whether to laugh or to cry. I ducked underwater and pulled myself together. I hadn't noticed I lost 25 pounds while taking care of Morris. Martha, stretched on a pool chaise, was oblivious to my little mishap. Later that evening, she suffered from sunburn and chills. She took aspirin and watched TV in bed while I read.
Irene, you didn't come to Florida to hold my hand in our hotel room. Why don't you go down to the lobby and browse the shops?
For the first time in my life, I was alone in a hotel with no idea of where to go or what to do. And then, remarkably, Gene reappeared.
Hey, how'd you like to go over to Howard Johnson's with me for a coffee?
He told me that he and his wife had adopted 9 children and made clear to all the unwed mothers that any time she wanted and was able to take care of the child herself, she could take the child back. This was the first time I had ever known anyone with such a kind and understanding soul. We walked. The night air was clear, and the conversation made me feel relaxed for the first time in years. We heard music, went into a small bar, and onto the dance floor. We moved as if we had danced together for years, so easy, so comfortable. We danced to Strangers in the Night, which was the last song before closing time.
Strangers in the night, exchanging glances, wandering in the night. What were the chances we'd be sharing love before the night was through? Something in your eyes was so inviting. Something in your smile was so exciting. Something in my heart told me I must have you.
Walking back to the hotel, we never stopped talking. Finding chairs on the beach facing the ocean, we watched the sun rise, changing the world's colors from gray to bright and beautiful. Then Gene stood and looked at his watch. It was 5:30 a.m. He was presenting a paper at 9 at his company's convention. We said goodbye. Back in my room, Martha sat, glaring at me.
Where the hell were you? If you were going to sleep with someone, I thought you might call me. I thought you were raped and thrown in an alley.
When I tried to explain, she said I was lying. When I got home, I found that Gene had called and left a message. Of course, this was the only time that I went to help my neighbor put up a dress hem. In my heart, I knew that he would never call again. And a week later, I received a postcard from him, which I recently found. I'm so grateful to have something tangible to prove that it wasn't a fantasy. It said,
It seems years since I've seen the sun rise. Think nice thoughts, dance a little, stay great. Jean.
I never saw nor heard from Gene again. He believed in predestiny.
Doobie doo, doo 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 doo, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da.